And when Rasulullah sallam said, yassira wa la tu'assira, bashira, make it easy and don't make it complicated. And give the glad tidings, wa la tunaffira, don't make them just run away from you. Now, what happens is that relational concept which we have talked about it requires that you do not burden the person with all the details and don't convert the person in one setting or two settings. You can't do it. Your responsibility is to prepare the soil, put some kind of buzur or seed in it, and then let it sit. Let the person digest. This person will do something, think about it. Whether that person likes to come back to you or not, just leave it open. If you do not hear much from that person, then send the emails, some phone calls, but not talking about these issues because you don't want to. But again, find a kind of setting. As the salespeople, they invite you for dinners, for lunch, these kind of stuff. Find a social context in which the other person does not become defensive, and somehow you can build upon what is there. Now, when it comes to the issue of dawah itself, very often what we Muslims do is we talk about our 5, pillars. What is Islam? Islam is 5 pillars. Daily prayers, all of this kind of stuff. As I told you that from my perspective, from the dawah perspective, you cannot make Islam so difficult that the person even just looking at it feels this is not for me. If a person does not do even one-time prayer, and you say that by becoming Muslim you will have to do 5 times daily prayers, or you will have to start fasting, or giving zakat, then basically you have lost it. Once you have talked about the basics, that's where Rasulullah sallam said, as when he was sending Sayyidina Muaz radiallahu ta'ala, he said, if they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then tell them that he has made it 5 times daily prayers obligatory. If they are done with the salah, then ask them zakah. If they are done with the zakah, then tell them about fasting. If they are done with the fasting, then tell them about the hajj. Now, the mistake which we make is that something which Sahaba Ridwanullah alayhi ajma'in could not do at one time, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not require in one instance, which basically the ummah did not do at once, we start requiring from a common person who has just basically thought of accepting Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in allazina amanu wa amilu salihat, first iman, good deeds, and akhirah. Now, those good deeds were not defined. Good deeds were left for the people, and by common nature, everybody knows that basically good deeds, don't kill, don't cheat, don't lie. Nobody is ever going to be denying them. Now, belief system is which will build the foundation. The belief system is what builds the foundation. Don't talk about amal salih at this time. Don't talk about responsibilities at all. And actually, Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu ta'ala, when she is after the death of Rasulullah sallam, when some of the ladies asked her some question, she said, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have revealed about hijab in Makkah, then none of you will be Muslim today. I'm just rephrasing what she said. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have required what he required in the later part of Medina, in Makkah, none of these people will have even the slightest of iman. Everything came gradual with proper foundation. So therefore, now once you have seen over there some kind of signs that the person is willing to communicate, now that's where you are going to be coming, but staying again with the basics which are common, but then throwing some kind of distinctions, because if the features of your product are not better than his product or her product, then why is that person going to accept it? Now, this is starting the communication process, which is a little different than what you were doing. in the beginning, you were establishing relationship, rapport, building confidence, and showing commonalities, because that person had something very negative about you. Now, once you have established it, now you are a giver. Before that, you were just normalizing the situation where you and him can have the talk. Now the communication is going to really start. And there are three kinds of, you can call communication, or three kinds of possible discussion way or methodology. One is very passive communication. The other is aggressive communication. The third is assertive communication. The passive communication is that now you have normalized some situation, but you are not confident about what you want to give, about your product. Shy, the person is not sure how to introduce Islam, how to compare it with their faith tradition, or kind of happy that he or she has normalized the situation and that person is no more threat to me or to my family or to my culture. Nobody can ever argue that whatever we have got the gospel is the word of Jesus exactly. Because the original gospels, whatever we have got right now, their original language is Greek, while Jesus spoke Arabic. Jesus could have spoken, say for example, like back home as we speak English, a little bit, but that's not the mother tongue which we use. So if the message is coming from Jesus, peace be upon him himself, it cannot be in Greek, you know. So the first gospels are written in Greek and not in Arabic, number one. Number two, there is so much discussion among the Christians which exact words are of Jesus and which are basically the words put by the later people in the mouth of Jesus, peace be upon him. Nobody can ever say that Jesus ever said to his disciples, write my words or write the scriptures. The situation is, Jesus, peace be upon him, according to them, died in 30, and his 12 disciples are the people who are after Jesus, peace be upon him, preaching. And Paul is a Jew who is working for the Greek government or the Roman government and is persecuting the disciples of Jesus. Now what happens is that he claims that on his way to Damascus, when he was going to find the disciple of Jesus and to kill him in Damascus, on the road to Damascus, from Jerusalem to Damascus, he saw Jesus coming to him. Suddenly Jesus, peace be upon him, appeared and he got fainted when he saw God. So then Jesus said, no, Paul, stand up. Why are you persecuting my followers? And I got scared, and then Jesus told me, go in the word and preach in my name. You are my disciples. Now, what we are told is that Paul went from Damascus blind, because he got blinded by this experience. The light of God was so much that he got. So he walked from Jerusalem or that area all the way to Damascus. And he was still blind and went to the house of the disciple of Jesus who was in Damascus. And that disciple put his hands on his eyes and then basically